Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. We got a great video today. I just watched the sentencing of Derek Chauvin in the Minneapolis courtroom. I'm gonna get into this whole sentence here right in a minute. Please check my programs out on YouTube and Patreon. I hate to gloat. I hit it on the nose. I'm saying he gets 22 and a half years. I hit it on the nose. Not any of these analysts and stuff. I was just watching CNN and I'm disappointed at Van Jones. You can never please him. He says, oh, the guy got 15 years. I've seen other people do, 15 years. He got 22 and a half years. What he serves has nothing to do with it, because he can have a hard time in prison and lose all the gain time, not gain whatever it is, and do the whole 22 and a half years. So don't say, oh, he's got 15 years. What he's going to sit in a box? First of all, you go to prison. He's lucky if he gets out alive. Listen, I have no pity for him either. Let me get that straight either. I have no pity for him. I have more pity and more sorrow for the Floyd family. There's no question about that. They lost somebody. They lost somebody to an act that should have never happened. But it happens every day. And it's just not a cop that does it, maybe. Or it's a person on the street. And does that all the time, does that happen? And the person get, life or 30 or no? Unintentional second-degree murder. Unintentional. There's intentional and unintentional. So that's what he was charged with. So let's not get that. Now, if you told intentional, he did it on purpose or whatever, and you can prove that, then that's a different thing. Then the guidelines are higher. So I'm a little bit peeved today watching everything, but very, very happy that the judge, I really am proud of that judge. I may even write him a letter. That judge didn't let, and he said it, I'm not going to let sympathy, I'm not going to let public opinion sway this, and he did it by law. So these pundits get right on and say, it's a light sentence. It's a light sentence because you didn't want the sentence to be that way. That was well above the guidelines. Well above the guidelines. And don't compare sentences, Van Jones. Oh, I seen somebody do this. While I went to court and got 144 months for robbery, nobody got hurt, only money. I watched child molesters get 7 years and 5 years. You can't look at it and say, oh, because he got that, or this black guy or white guy or anybody got that, I should get that. That's bullshit. Now, getting to the sentence itself. I did not read it. I am literally doing this video 5 minutes after the sentencing by the judge, and I thought the judge did a very good job. I will be reading the brief as well. I am totally disappointed at the commentators, at least on CNN. I didn't hear any other networks. If it's not, you want to talk about, and I hate to say it, I almost believe it's almost reverse racism. I've watched many people get second-degree unintentional murder. Second-degree unintentional murder get 150 months. You heard, if you watch the whole thing, you heard the defense attorney talk about 67% got the middle of the guidelines, 150 months. So even if you got a little bit over the guidelines, it gets 180 months. The guidelines is 180, actually up to 180, but they usually go by the middle of the guidelines. I think Chauvin is guilty. I think he should spend time in jail. I think he's going to have a harder time in jail than anybody else. He's going to go to solitary confinement. He's going to go to protective custody. He's going to have a tough time in jail. It's not like he's going to be a regular inmate and getting on with it. That's not going to happen. So I'm not impressed with the commentating. And I had to say that right off the bat. Because right after I watched it, I listened to Van Jones and all of them say, oh, it's light. Even Ramsey, the chief of police from Philly, is a law enforcement consultant. I love that fucking line. Let me be the consultant. Let me be the consultant. They need more voices from my end of the fucking block. From my end of the look. And I'm an honorary police officer. How's that? Listen, I respect good cops. So, I will not say, that the sentence was wrong. I think the sentence was just. I really do. And I'll tell you why. And I know people are going to want 30 in life. And yes, if it's your loved one that's killed, what's the real sentence? What's eye for an eye? What's the real sentence? You're never going to get George Floyd back. I don't care what you give. You can give him 100 years. What does that do? Is the sentence for what it is? As a man who believes in rehabilitation, and I do, and you all know that. Do I think Derek Chauvin, he did show me a little crazy shit. His mom was talking really really hard, and he looked very sociopathic, just staring there like he didn't even have any emotion, nothing. I mean, I couldn't have did that. Listening to the whole both parts, I thought the attorneys did a great job. The defense attorney did a very good job. Didn't overspeak. You can get up there and you piss off a judge, and he's like, the judge probably had his mind made up to a degree. As he said, he has a 22-page memorandum of why he did what he did, and you'd think that wasn't wrote in 15 minutes after they did it. That was definitely not wrote then. That judge thought long and hard about the sentence, as he should, and there wasn't anything overly different for the judge to say, no, I mean, I just heard something, I think he needs 35 or 30 years, or no, he should get 10 years. The judge put it right where I think that, good for you, judge, and the judge didn't let the environment or anything else affect his decision. He did a good thing. As you all know, I totally believe Derek Chauvin was an asshole. I think he's going to have the hardest time in prison anybody can imagine. Now, what did shock me a little bit, when Derek Chauvin got up to talk, he said something he didn't want to speak. He actually turned and apologized in his own way and gave the condolences to the family, which I think was pretty powerful. You don't see that too often. And then what he also did, he says, something else is going to come out. And what's that something else? I don't know what that is. Now, yes, there's going to be appeals. How that works is, there's going to be what they call a direct appeal. And unless there's some kind of major error, people don't understand. When you appeal a case, you don't take the case and they don't retry it. The appeals court doesn't retry that case. The appeals courts look for major errors, voir dire, picking of a jury, something illegal, something major. The judge did something way out of whack and hold the attorneys accountable, or something happened in that regard that it's an overturnable or reversible sentence. Very rarely does an appeals court go against a jury verdict. That's number one. So he's going to be upheld on appeal. His next avenue of defense or avenue of attack for the court is going to be ineffective assistance of counsel. In the federal system, it's called a 2255, 31 something here in Florida. Every state has what it's called ineffective assistance of counsel. Meaning if you get a bad attorney, a public defender who's just sleeping in court, doing shit, whatever the hell it is, and you can prove that he should have did something else, he had information, he didn't put it out, he didn't do what you said, you told him to put this person on the stand or whatever as a witness. I don't think he's going to get that in this case either. I don't think he's going to win ineffective assistance of counsel. He'll try it, because everybody does in prison. I used to do them all the time. I won a few because some of the public defenders were just fucking terrible. I don't think he's going to win that either. I think he's going to do it. He will do 2/3, 15 years. That's the Minnesota statute. That's a long time, guys. 15 years in prison, I know. Do I think, he's getting out at 60. He's 45. He's getting out at 60 years old. 60 years old. He's getting out at my age. Now, I went to prison at 34 and I got out at 46, just turning 47 in October. So I totally disagree with the commentators about the harshness of the sentence. I thought it was a fair sentence. You can write me and tell me I'm wrong, you should have got this, and you're going to have your arguments and I'll have my arguments. And I am looking forward to reading the brief from the judge, because I think the judge nailed it right on the head. At what point does it not become about the actual case? When Van Jones said, oh, I know people who did 15 years for nothing, and they're in jail. Yeah, I do too. I know people who got the Innocent Project. I know people who are actually innocent, Van Jones, and those guys did a lot of time. How about Bill Dillon? Corrupt everything. He did 27 years, didn't do it. He was gang raped his first day in prison. I'm going to interview Bill too. So, you can go on and on about what's right and wrong. And again, as a man, and my mother, I'm very close with my mother. You all know that. I take care of my mother. And my mother's 88, and I take care of her. And my mom used to say, stuck by me, and, God bless her, she says, I understand you did wrong. You didn't kill anybody. You didn't hurt people. You didn't do anything like that. But you were a bad guy. I never questioned myself or what I did and everything else. I know I was bad. But my mother used to say, why does this person who hurt a kid, raped a kid, did something, get 5 years or 7 years. You know, you guys could look at this. It's right here on my channel. I was on the Huckabee show. It was me, Tommy Chong, and a preacher who killed a person with an axe handle. Did 8 years. You know, I didn't say up there, say, look, I didn't kill anybody. That guy did 8 years. You know, he got out and he found God, or he found God in there and they let him out and he got whatever he got to get out. Tommy Chong did 6 months for fucking bongs. Are you fucking kidding me? Anyway, back to my argument. Van Jones's argument doesn't stand with me. I know he claims to be some criminal justice guy. I don't know what prison he was in. I don't know what he knows except for what he goes to meetings and talks to a lot of people. You know, I was there. I lived it. I did it. I studied the law. I came out. I become an honorary police officer, recognized on the floor of the United States Congress. So I don't know where these guys get their credentials to come on TV and be a pundit and talk. I think they shouldn't be pundits like that. I really don't. I know they're talking heads or whatever the hell they are, and a guy up there can't be, you know, an expert on everything. I really believe this sentence was just, fair. It's not going to be overturned, is my prediction. So he's not going to win on appeal. He's not going to win on ineffective assistance of counsel when he's in there. And the biggest thing I had out of this whole thing is when I watched Derek Chauvin on TV turn to the family, give him condolences, and then say, I can't say something because something's coming out soon. That really, I didn't hear anybody talk about that. Listen, there's no winners here, everybody. Nobody wins. The Floyd family's never getting George Floyd back. And that little girl talking made my heart bleed. You know, he used to help me brush my teeth. I mean, if that doesn't fucking touch you in a way, then you're not human. So that touched me. It really did. Derek Chauvin's mother didn't touch me as much. I mean, she said what she said. You know, I mean, good for her. She sticks up for her son. I tell my family, you always stick up for your kid, whether they're wrong or right. My parents did too. They didn't like what I did. My parents did not like what I was or what I did, but they didn't abandon me either, and they stuck up for me. Now, I heard it. You know, obviously as an adult, you don't want to hear so much. You know you fucked up. You don't think this Derek Chauvin, like you said, what ifs. You know, don't be a law enforcement. And you know, I also don't want to buy the fact that, he's this perfect guy, because I don't buy that for a fucking second. You know, I told you I don't believe in perfect people. I don't give a shit if you're a cop and you're a badge and a gun. I don't give a fuck that you do that. Don't make you perfect to me. You dig into his lives, I'm sure I could find a lot of shit that Derek did. And a lot of officers didn't like him. And a lot of shit. I mean, everyone's saying the right things and stuff. And I expect it all. I was not shocked one bit about this. The one thing I was the most proud of as an American was I really think the judge did the right thing. And I think the judge calculated the way he did in the law. And I will bet that when you read his brief, the 22-page brief, again, he didn't do it in 15 minutes. He had it done. When he did that 22-page brief, that man thought long and hard about this case, because he's taking a man, putting him in prison, and that man might never get out. That man's definitely not going to have health care or anything like, you know, people think, he's going to a country club. That man's not going to a country club either. Second-degree unintentional murder, he's probably going to a penitentiary. He's going to go to a high-level prison. That's number one. And first of all, he's going to probably have to be in solitary confinement, and then I don't think he'll ever see a yard like, you know, you would think, especially this high-profile case, because somebody will want to kill him to make name for himself. Some guy who's got life sentence, doesn't give a shit. Fuck it, that's the guy, you know. And I'm never getting out anyway. I'm going to kill him. That's going to happen, or it would be attempted to happen, obviously. It's shown from Jeffrey Dahmer to Whitey Bulger, you know, we call that prison justice. So I don't want to see that happen to anybody. I don't believe in that, you know that. But I do want to say that I really, in my heart of heart, believe that this judge was spot on. Not just because I picked it, because he did what I would have did. I would have took that number, 150. Now he goes from 150 to 270. Think of that. 150 months to 270 months. The recommended middle of the guidelines was 150 months. He went to 270. So he almost doubled it. 150 months goes to 30 months. 150 months, goes to 300 months. They wanted 360 months, which is 30 years. I didn't think that was ever happening. And I thought, even if he doubled the sentence, Yes, 180 and 180 is 360. You could have made it like that top end of the guideline. I don't buy that either. And to Van Jones's point, I've seen a lot of guys get less sentenced than that for the same crime or worse crimes. So don't say, oh, I see people who did less get more. I'm sure there is. Totally sure there is. There's people who did 30 years in this fucking country for pot. How's that? You want to really talk about injustices? I can get into this whole topic, man. My podcast is going to be a lot about this. So I'm very, I waited all day for this. I wanted to come on here and tell you guys my thoughts and why I thought it was right. And matter of fact, I'm going to see who won my contest of picking it on the button. We will see that in a minute. But I'm really, really happy about the way it went. No winners here. No winners. The only winner to me is the system worked. It really is. That was the only. I said this guy Derek Chauvin should be up for murder, and he was charged the correct way. I think the system really worked, and I think people should take note to that. And I think any cop out there who thinks they can do stupid shit, just realize they can't. Realize they're not above the law, because you're not. Nobody's above the law. So I think the system won. Of course, the Floyd family did not win. They're never going to get George back, and that's sad. And the Chauvin family didn't win. They lost it. Like he said, even the lawyer said, his father, his mother, his son. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a friend. So he lost as well, obviously. And, in its own way, I think it sent the right message, because if anybody out there who's a cop thinks, that's not a big deal, I'll fucking kill a guy, I'll get 22 years. You're a fucking idiot, because you're going to fucking probably not make it, and nor should you. How's that? So, in that said, I want to say thank you very much. Hit it on the button. I got a great video just to tell you what's coming up. This has got me all nervous all week. Everybody. This is an actual black box. Handcuffs, black box. And yes, I'm doing a video. And I'm going to actually lock myself up. I don't know how that's going to go. I think that's going to be a really good video because it's going to make me kind of fucked up. I'm telling you, to be honest. It's going to make, I don't know how I'm going to feel. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Please think about the choices you make. Think about them. Have fun. Live your life. Respect everybody else. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And you'll be all right in this world. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. See you in the next video.